I've been making YouTube videos now for nearly a year. I think that in June or July, I've been posting every single week for nearly a year. And the whole journey with YouTube has been something that I've wanted to do, and I suppose like the whole content side of things, which is literally what I sell to my clients, right? It's something that I've wanted to do and something that I've wanted to implement for a really long time. But ultimately, I feel like I've never really kind of hit the nail on the head in terms of exactly what type of content really performs well to get me clients, right? Like I can feasibly understand how like making videographer focused content could encourage a videographer audience. But I think what I've always ultimately struggled with is what type of content is going to be the best type of content for attracting clients, right? Attracting the event marketers, event organizers, into me to work with me, right? That's kind of the main thing. And if I'm going to put so much time, effort, energy, attention, like full process, ideas, all of this sort of stuff into YouTube, then it has to pay off. It has to give a return. It doesn't have to be immediate, but it does have to give a return over the long run. And this whole YouTube game, I started with recording basically just kind of really raw, one-take videos, just kind of have an idea, sit down, record it, and get it done. And that was fantastic for just kind of building that muscle of consistency. And then about 2 months ago, we really tried to increase the quality of the videos. We brought in an external editor to really work on kind of the first 45 to 60 seconds of the video. If you go and check out the previous videos on the channel, you'll see that. But they ended up being kind of scripted talking head videos because I wanted to make it really efficient for Goncalo to edit, who's my editor. What the initial one-take videos did really well, I think, was kind of give more of a window into my personality, kind of give more of a window into who I am as a person, the way that I think, the way that I talk, the way that I articulate ideas and all of that sort of stuff. We're producing way better content, but the content itself is not as engaging, which actually, depending on the way that you view the content, actually makes it worse, right? Because it's less engaging, because it feels scripted, because some of it's written by AI, right? Like, it just doesn't have that personal touch. It doesn't have that personal element that I think is becoming more and more rare nowadays. It's becoming increasingly scarce to find creators and to find really kind of creators within the business space that are putting a lot of personal thought, effort, and kind of, care into their content. And after 2 months of kind of posting this more specific event talking head content, I started thinking about the reasons why it might not be performing the way that I want it to be performing, especially the short form videos, because that's kind of the main reason why I'm making this sort of stuff, is to have material that we can cut down into shorts. And it really, I think, just comes back to the fact that there is no personality in the content. There is no cheeky smiles. There's no there's no ahs, right? There's not that human side to it. It feels forced. It feels like content for content's sake. And that's not really the type of stuff that I want to be making. I'd like my fancy coffee making setup, by the way. And then, of course, I want to look at the bigger picture as well. We're living in a world, and I believe we're living through probably one of the biggest technological revolutions that we're ever going to see in our lifetime. And AI can make talking head videos. AI can produce these perfect sit-down, perfectly lit talking head videos. If you're wondering what this is, by the way, I've got a leak in the office in the roof at the moment, and the landlord still hasn't fixed it, so that's why the walls look a bit dirty. But yeah, look, AI is rapidly advancing, and its ability to produce these talking head videos is just getting better and better. So why would I invest time, energy, and resources into making content that AI can produce very easily, right? And is so replicable. And I think that, if I noodled around with AI software for the next hour, I think that I could create a talking head video that's very similar to the type of content that I've been creating. And expecting my clients to resonate with, and expecting my clients to want to do business with me as well, expecting prospects to want to do business with me as well. At the end of the day, the human-to-human connection side of the events industry is the main reason why I love the industry that I work in, is because it brings together real people in a real space with real emotions and real connections. And I constantly am telling my clients all the time, like, you need to be focusing on the moments between the moments, right? You need to be really just showing the authentic and real and honest side of your event, because that's what's going to attract people to come in the long run. That's what's going to draw in the right type of people to your event and ultimately create this flywheel where you get better audiences and better content. I mean the actual content of the event, and then the videos are better, and it's just this cycle, right? But I'm not doing it with my own content. And if I'm talking plainly, that does make me a hypocrite. This sort of thinking reminds me precisely of a conversation that I had with my mentor. And it's something like this, that something's going to work, right? A type of content, a type of marketing strategy, a way to attract the right people into the business. Something is going to work. But in order to figure out what is going to work, you have to be willing to go through the process of trying everything and knowing what doesn't work, if that makes sense. So I guess what I'm trying to say here is that this is a new style for me. This is something that I haven't tried out. This is something that really is super inefficient in terms of plugging into a daily, monthly, weekly, whatever SOP, content batching system, stuff like that, because it can't be filmed in one shot. It has to be filmed over a day. It has to be filmed over a week. It has to integrate itself into my lifestyle to effectively show what the day-to-day process of running a business and growing a video production company and working in the events industry is like. I have to have this camera with me all the time. So it's something new. It's something new that I want to try out. It's something new that I think will show the personal, the good, the bad, the reality, right? The human side of things, which AI will never be able to replicate. And I think that's where the value really lies in doing something like this. So welcome to the vlog. Welcome to this new way of making videos, this new, extremely inefficient, but I believe much more heartfelt, much more care-driven way of me interacting and making content that's hopefully going to draw the right people into the business, right? My plan here is to show everything that I think is worth showing. Show the sales calls, show the real conversations, show the way that we interact with our clients, both on shoot, in the office, as I'm doing right now. And what I think this is going to be a lot more useful to a potential client, because what I was doing with the talking head stuff is essentially just kind of sitting down and talking about events. Whereas what I can do with this, by bringing you along, by giving you a bit more of a personal look, by a bit more of a kind of, you know, a POV interaction with me as a person, what I think that's going to do is just demonstrate how we do what we do, rather than talk about what we do, it's just going to demonstrate that. And I think that this is going to be a better way for me to make content in the long run, and I think it's going to be more valuable for our clients as well. And I want to be transparent about the reasons why I'm making these videos as well. Now, of course, I run a video production company that focuses on events, right? That's all that we do. But the main reason why I'm making these videos partly is to share knowledge, share experience, make the type of videos that I needed when I was first starting out. But more importantly, if a potential client wants to work with me, then they can go on my social media, they can go on the YouTube channel, they can watch all of these videos and get a very clear picture of what it's like to work with me on a day-to-day basis. They can go back through the catalog, they can see how the processes got implemented, they can see how the work that I do in the office translates to the work that we do on site, and all of that sort of stuff. So if that is your thing, then I would encourage you just to subscribe. I won't have a masterclass, I won't have a course. There's going to be no links in my description other than the contact form to apply to work with OG Films as an event production company. So if this is your jam, if you're liking the new content, please do let me know, and I will see you very soon. Take care.